VIPKid teachers. In honor of Jennifer's 28th birthday, we are going to do 28 yoga poses. Let's do this. Child's pose. So what you're going to do is take your knees out as wide as the mat. Bring your big toes to touch behind you. Sink your hiney onto your heels. Then you're going to walk your hands towards the top of your mat, and you're going to let your chest kind of just fall down, and then let your forehead rest on the mat. Pose 2. Cow. So make sure you're on all fours. Make sure your wrists are under your shoulders and your knees are under your hips. You're going to inhale, drop the belly, and look up. And then for cat, you're going to round out the spine as you exhale and push the mat away. Cow, drop the belly. Look up. Exhale. Cat. Round out the spine. Downward facing dog. So you're going to walk your hands about a step forward. You're going to curl your toes under and you're going to lift your hiney to the sky. Oh, you're shining your tailbone up to the sun. So if you need to pedal out your feet a little bit, if you have tight hamstrings, do so. Just kind of walking it out, taking that dog for a walk. And then settle in. Push your chest towards your thighs, shining your tailbone up. You're trying to get that upside down V shape. Now, upward facing dog. So you're in downward facing dog. You're going to come forward onto your hands and you're going to lower down onto your belly. Untuck your toes, put the tops of your feet down. You're going to lift. Make sure your shoulders aren't up into your ears. Lower them down, tuck them back into your spine. Look up. And if you really want to challenge yourself, engage your thighs, lifting your legs up off the mat. Ooh, yeah, upward facing dog. Now we're going to do mountain pose. So you're going to push back into your down dog, look to your hands and walk to your hands. And I will turn to you for this one. So this is also called Tadasana, but it's more commonly referred to as mountain pose. You're going to ground down through your feet. Your feet are about hips distance apart. And then you're going to feel the corners of your feet gripping down into the mat. You're going to engage the belly and you're going to roll the shoulders back into your spine, palms facing forward, chin up just slightly. Mountain pose. Warrior 1. Now to get into Warrior 1, I normally start with down dog. So get into your down dog. You're going to lift your right leg up, pull it through to your hands, and you're going to spin your back heel down to about a 45-degree angle. Don't have it parallel, just about a 45-degree angle, and then you're going to come up. Now what you want to do is square your hips off. So if you need to bring your back foot in some, keep it at that 45-degree angle. Bring your back heel in just a little bit, pressing through the blade edges of your feet. You're keeping your knee over your toes, or not over your toes, but you can see your toes, but they're kind of going toward, your knees going towards your pinky toe. Keep your hips squared and then biceps by the ears. Pinky spun in, thumbs spun out. Warrior 1. So for Warrior 2, we are starting in Warrior 1, and you're going to open up your body to the side of your mat. Put your back foot parallel with the back of your mat, and your hips are squared to the long edge of your mat. Your knee is still trying to go towards your pinky toe. I know, it's really strong legs for this one. Arms are making a T. Don't have your shoulder blades like this. Make sure they're down. And you're looking over your center finger. Warrior 2. Triangle pose. So for triangle pose, we are already in Warrior 2. Straighten the front leg, reach forward, and then hinge. And there's triangle pose. Now some people can reach their hands all the way down to the floor. That throws off my alignment. So I'm up here. If looking up hurts your neck, you can look down. If your shoulder blocks your view, you're too far down. You can work your hand up your leg a little bit. Pretend your body is between two panes of glass. Triangle pose. Pyramid pose. So how to get into pyramid pose? We're already in triangle, so what we're gonna do is turn to the front of our mats. We're gonna hop that back leg in about halfway. All of our toes painted. All of our toes painted. Yes, my toes are painted. All of our toes pointed to the top of the mat. You're gonna reach forward like you're reaching for the wall, and then you're going to fold. Now, some people may need blocks for this because you want to keep your spine straight. You don't want to just completely round spine straight, and you have different settings on your blocks. There's the highest setting, medium setting, and the lowest setting. I can really feel that in my hamstrings. Now, yogi toe lock. So for yogi toe lock, I'm going to turn to the camera. Normally you would step in your back foot, but I'm going to face you guys for, actually I might not. So you're going to step your back foot in, and you're going to fold. So we're going to inhale and fold. And you're going to take your two peace fingers and you're going to grab your big toes. Make sure your feet are about hips distance apart. And you're going to bend your knees pretty deeply here. So bend your knees. Make sure your chest is on your thighs. So you're going to inhale and you're going to lift. So inhale, lift up. And then exhale, pull your torso down and try straightening your legs a little. They don't have to be like straight as boards. Your knees can still be bent. Just go to where you're feeling the stretch. And you're hugging your elbows around the legs. Keep your eyes open for balance. Yogi toe lock. Now we're going to do yogi squat. So you will take your toes off the mat, keep your heels on the mat. So toes off, heels on. Bring your hands to prayer center or hold them out in front of you. And you're going to lower down. But you're not setting your booty down onto the mat. You're just lowering down and you're keeping your back. Like if you feel like you're almost about to fall backwards, then you're holding the pose correctly. Like you don't want to round out. Bring your hands to prayer center. Use your elbows to push your knees out to the sides. Don't have your shoulders like this. Don't round out. Make sure that you are tucked back into your spine and looking forward. Tripod. So to get into tripod, we're going to place our hands onto the mat. We're going to step back a little bit. So this you're going to be using your head for. So place your hands onto the mat. You're going to come down. You're going to place the top of your head onto the floor. Make sure that your elbows are almost at a 90-degree in this position so you feel sturdy. And you're going to come up and you're going to place your knees on top of your elbows and lift one foot and then the other to bring the toes to touch. And that's tripod. If you really want to go for it, you can lift your legs into a tripod headstand, but if you don't feel confident, don't do it. Take your time. Make sure you're against a wall. You don't want to fall and hurt yourself. Tripod pose. And now we're going to do some balances. All right, so for our first balance, we're going to do tree. And I feel like tree is probably the most seen yoga pose out in the world. So here's how you get into tree. You're going to ground down into one foot, whichever one you prefer. I'm going to ground down into my left foot. I'm going to grip the mat with my toes. And then I'm going to lift my right leg up and place it on my leg. Now don't put it on your knee. You can place it on your calf or on your thigh. And you can kickstand. You can kickstand. This is still tree. Do not put it on your knee because that puts some extra pressure on your joints that it doesn't need. So lift the foot, place it on wherever you'd like, thigh, calf, or kickstand. Bring your hands to prayer center. And focus on something that does not move. So don't be looking at a fly on the wall. The next balance pose we will do is eagle pose. This is one of my favorites because I almost always fall over in it. It challenges me a lot. So I will turn to the side for this one because it's much more fun to see it from the side. So what you're going to do is take your right arm under your left arm and twist it around. If this is a little bit difficult to do, that's okay. You can hug yourself, but make sure your elbows are shoulder height. They're not down here, they're up here. And then you're going to bend your knees, ground down into your left foot, take your right leg up and over, like you're crossing your legs like a lady as you're sitting. And then you're going to flex that foot, or you can wrap it all the way around. Now, even with the arms twisted, have your elbows up as high as shoulder height. You're engaging the belly. Ooh, falling over. Engaging the belly and squeezing the thighs together. Everything is engaged while trying to maintain balance. Warrior 3. So this one really engages the belly. So where I'm going to ground down into my right leg this time, and I'm going to hinge forward, but as I hinge, I'm going to kick back my left leg, keeping it flexed, like it's not just there. I flex the foot, hinge forward, looking down at the mat and reaching my arms toward the wall. Warrior 3. Now we will go back down to the mat and we will do plank. Now for plank, you'll place your hands down onto the mat, step back, make sure your wrists are under your shoulders and that you are up on your toes and looking down at the mat. Don't look forward, look down at the mat. It keeps your spine in alignment. You can also do this on your forearms. We will go to side plank. For side plank, you can literally go from regular plank, place one hand right under your face. It could be your right or left, whichever you want to do first, and roll your feet over to the side. And now you are in side plank. Your joints are stacked and everything is engaged. Be careful not to tilt your hips too far down or too far up. Try to keep them in alignment with the rest of your body. Other variations of plank, if you want to try other variations, is that you can take one knee down and stretch the other leg out. This is also effective, and then lift that back leg. Make sure that foot is flexed like your karate cha. Locust. You'll come down onto your belly and you'll place your cheek onto the mat. Your hands will be down at your sides with palms facing down. Just relax for a second. Then bring your chin to center. You're going to inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, kick back the feet. And float the hands while looking down at the mat. Pinch your shoulder blades together. If you want to really juice up your glutes, zipper your legs together. And release. And that is locust. For bow, now you can do full bow or you can do half bow. A half bow, you reach back and grab one of your ankles or your foot, and then you're going to reach the opposite arm forward. This is half bow. For full bow, you reach back and grab both. Now you can grab your feet. I grab my ankles. And your feet, if you grab your ankles, your feet are flexed. They're not just kind of hanging out, they're flexed. So you're gonna set up. Inhale, lift. And try to rock back onto your thighs. Whoop, whoop. Sometimes I succeed, sometimes I don't. Inhale, lift a little higher. And exhale, release. Now you may want to windshield wiper your legs a little bit. Get some movement on that small back. And now we will roll over onto our backs. From here, we will do bridge and wheel. So on our backs, you're gonna walk, or you're gonna bend your knees and place the soles of your feet onto the mat. You're gonna walk your heels close to your booty and just close enough so your longest finger can graze your heel. And you're gonna have your knees hips distance width. And then you're going to inhale, exhale, lift the hips. Snuggle your shoulder blades together, interlace your fingers, and push those hips up to the ceiling. Use your legs. And breathe in the belly. You're trying to press your chest closer to your nose. Now we will go into wheel. Now, if wheel seems a little bit too difficult, that's okay. You can just do bridge again. It has the same effect. It's a back bend. So if wheel seems too difficult or dangerous and you're not sure if you can do it, just stick with bridge, okay? So you're going to place your hands by your shoulders or above your shoulders on the mat, fingers pointed down towards your shoulders. You're going to take a deep inhale and then you're going to exhale, lift. Ooh, I lift it all up. Make sure you're looking down at the mat. Tuck your chin, then lower down. Don't try to lower down with your head still down. You can land on top of your head and you don't want to injure yourself. Then you're going to bend your knees and hug yourself. And just give yourself a little back massage. Just kind of rock from side to side. You're going to release your legs down and you're going to rock and roll up to a seated position. And you may have to scoop back a little bit. You're going to take your legs long out in front of you. And you're going to flex your feet. You're going to remove the meat of your seat out from under your sit bones. Make sure your sit bones are on the floor. And you're going to inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, lead with the chest. And a seated forward fold. Now we are going to do a little bit of an ab workout. So bend your knees and we're going to do boat. Now there are many ways to do boat. So the goal is to keep your chest forward and open and your arms out to the sides. If you need to keep your boat docked like this, that is perfectly fine. If you want to lift your sails halfway, remember, keep your chest up, arms out to the sides, or if you want to go full boat, remember, keep the chest open, feet flexed. Ooh. So whichever version of boat you prefer, there are plenty of modifications. Boat pose. Next, we will do a bit of a hip opener. It's called figure 4, and the reason it's called figure 4 is because when you cross your leg, it looks like a 4. So you can have one leg down onto the mat. You're going to take the opposite leg over and cross, and it looks like a number 4. Now you want to make sure that your bone of your ankle is not just sitting on top of your thigh. That's a really good way to bruise yourself. So make sure that it's just your ankle above. Now if this is all the further you can go, that's perfectly fine. If this doesn't do it for you and you need a little bit more, you can bend this knee and put your hands behind you to brace. Again, you want to try to keep the chest open, and you can do your figure 4 like so. If you still need more, you can work your legs closer to you. Mine feels good right about here. Next, we will roll back onto our backs for happy baby. So you're gonna bend your knees and bring them just over your torso. You're going to reach up through your legs, grabbing the instep of your feet and pulling your knees down into your armpits. You should be feeling a little bit of a stretch in your hips and thighs, and I usually feel a little bit in my butt too. So you can rock from side to side here like a happy baby. So now we're going to take our legs long, and then you're going to bend your right knee. Bend your right knee, bring it to your chest, give it a hug, and then you're going to take your left hand onto your right knee, draw it across your body, and do a twist. But you're going to keep your right shoulder down. You want to make sure your shoulders stay down to the floor. And it's okay if your foot or your knee doesn't touch the floor. That's okay. We have to keep the shoulder down. And then reach the right arm out and look to the right. This is called a supine twist. Now you're going to let both your legs long. Let your feet splay out. Have your feet about as wide as the mat. Toes out. And then you're going to have your arms out to your sides, palms facing up. Have your shoulders tucked in, chest open. And you're going to close your eyes and relax. This is commonly referred to as Shavasana. It is done at the end of a yoga practice. It's also known as corpse pose. You can lie on your mat with your eyes closed for 3 to 5 minutes. And just relax, rejuvenate. All right, everyone, that was the 28 poses for Jennifer's 28th birthday. Happy birthday, Jennifer.